quiet on set. Claudio, can you hear me?
I can.
Welcome everybody to Steel City Sports. I'm your host, Luther Dupree, joined as always by Claudio Rosano. The Hall of Famer Smokin Jim is with us on his Obama phone. What's up, Smokin Jim? Claudio, how you guys doing?
What's going on? You look good, Louis. Lost some weight. You look good.
Yeah, I'm trying, man. I'm trying to get like you, Claudio. How you doing, Jim?
I'm doing good, Lou.
All right, Jim's just waking up. Hopefully we can get him going. We can get him going a little bit. But let's start it off with our Steel City news. Claudio, what do you have for us?
Pirates season's over. Ben Cherington said 2024 is the year they're going to make a playoff run. And already there's talk about them not bringing Skeens up, the number one draft pick. Bring him up. Quit fooling around. Bring him up, because if you don't improve a lot, St. Louis is not going to have another bad year. Cincinnati is growing, and Chicago is not going to have another bad year. So you can't count on those three teams tanking. You have to turn it up. And they do have some tools that they have to fix. What do I always say? If you're not going to buy a car, fix up the one that you have. They have to fix up some of the players that they have, Swinsky being one of them. I think Davis is going to improve. Rodriguez needs improvement. You'll get Cruz back, but they got to get better with the pitching. I wouldn't count on Priester too much. If you're going to, they have to turn him into a guy who's going to be a movement guy. He lost a couple mile an hour of speed, so they're going to have to change his game, which can be done. So if they bring Skeens up, fix up what they have a shot to make some noise next year. If they wait till June to bring up Skeens and don't fix up what they have and do the same old, you're going to get the same old thing.
Okay. All right, short and sweet. Smokin Jim, what you got for us, buddy? How you feel, man? What's going on, Jim? What's your Steel City news, Jim? Oh, the words you're about to hear reflect Smokin Jim. They don't reflect my thinking or Claudio's. I didn't know I needed to, but knowing you, I probably always need to. Go ahead, Jim. What you got for us?
Hey, listen, Claudio. I'm paying fans all night to make a commercial because he needs help in the bedroom. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, they need a boost in their offense. Hey, Luther always said the easiest position to play in football is the quarterback position. Brock Purdy got this week with San Fran on 20 and 21. Listen, all it is pitch and catch, Lou. Ever since you and Claudio was in diapers, the first thing you wanted to do was pitch and catch. The first thing a kid says is mama. Second thing he says is catch. Third thing he says is dada. And maybe because of your oldest daughter, maybe her third word was God dada before dada. Hey, listen. The Steelers got ate up by C.J. Stroud, who's a great young quarterback, I predicted. Listen, we got a quarterback ticket. They got little hands, happy feet, tunnel vision. He's concussion prone. He's got very little tolerance for pain. I've seen a guy play in the Super Bowl from the Los Angeles Rams with a broken leg. Ronnie Lott cut off his finger to play in the game. White checked himself out of a hospital with 105-degree temperature to play in the Super Bowl. And Pickett can't play because he got a scratch or a boo-boo on his feet. This guy can't stand the sight. I'm scared. Hey, listen, I'm not here to hate. I'm just shooting straight. The Pittsburgh Steelers don't want to be great. They just want to be 9-8.
Not at 8. You switched it up, huh, Jim Fowler? You got a 17-game season. All right, Jim. I hear what you're saying, man. I'm starting to come around with you guys on Kenny Pickett, man. I was holding out hope that that he would come along, but I'm like Skywalker. First, salute to AB, Skywalker Boxing, Terry French. All you guys are in here. Skywalker's like me, still is stressing me out this season already. Oh, for sure. Bruce Gas, salute. Make sure you guys follow all these guys out here, man. All of them have great material on YouTube. Listen, I hear you guys with Kenny Pickett. I've been disappointed. I've been holding out hope, and it's still been a year and 4 games. He has a bad offensive line, the worst offensive coordinator in the history of the NFL. Is calling plays, but he's not getting any better. I thought I would see signs. I'm not seeing. He's missing open guys. He has the happy feet. His accuracy is not good, so I am disappointed. But one thing I'm not disappointed about was when we went to the arena. I'm telling you, man, this was one of the greatest arenas. Allegiant Stadium was amazing. Had a great time there. Jim, I got this one with the cheerleaders for you, man. You would have loved it. Got a chance to go see Robert Spillane's locker room. Great arena. If you guys have a chance, make sure you go. Excellent time there. A lot of fun, man. That was the last time the Steelers looked good because they didn't even score a touchdown. Everything you guys are saying, you all called it about Kenny Pickett. It's looking more and more like you guys are right. I hope you guys are wrong. Very disappointed in the progress. Listen, Jim, you said on the last show, you would give up Watt, 3 picks, and Pickens for Caleb Williams. Not that could happen, but you were one of the first ones to say that, Jim. Any thoughts?
Listen, one of the greatest quarterbacks in Steeler history was a second-round draft pick of Notre Dame by the name of Jerry Hamrick. Outstanding. He was outstanding as a rookie. He always played well. But the Steelers, the very next year, still drafted Jerry Bradshaw. Listen, Steelers only won Super Bowls. They got 6 Super Bowls, but 2 from Big Ben and 4 from Terry Bradshaw. You got to keep drafting and bringing in guys until you find the right guy.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Although I think that's way too much to give up for any player. Watt, maybe as you say, the greatest defensive player in the history of the Steelers. Pickens has great potential, and 3 number ones. Wow. I don't think you need to give up all that. And who knows? Caleb Williams' dad said he might not come out anyway, so he may still be there. Maybe they wait and see if Shador's available in the following draft. I don't know, but we got a lot of things to talk about. Make sure you give us a call. The number is on the screen as well. 412-530-5063. Give us a call. Let us know what you think. A couple things we got to talk about, this week. Steelers Ravens. Well, actually, let's start off with Canelo to Mel Charlo. Claudio, what were your thoughts about this fight?
I give Team Canelo credit for cherry picking names at the right time. That's number one. Number two, Canelo did something that he never does, and that's what? Start off early. Okay, he got right out of the gate and he didn't stop, to his credit, because I think he knew that this Charlo was no threat to him, and he never was in trouble, not even 1 round. I think he may have lost 2 rounds maybe, but it was a nice name on the ledger. It's more hardware, more trophies, more belts, more money, but it really wasn't what the fans wanted. It was a smart business move, but as far as boxing is concerned, it didn't elevate Canelo in my eyes. It was a nice name, hardware, money, but how come he didn't fight one of the guys that we wanted him to fight all this time? So, and who are they talking about him fighting next? I don't know. So it was a little.
He's fighting the other twin. He's fighting Jamal Charlo next, probably.
But again, it's at the right time because he hasn't fought in a while either.
In 2 years.
Canelo's management is doing a fantastic job dancing through the raindrops.
I like that. Hey, Jim, what are your thoughts about that?
Well, Well, it's a shame you guys are so disrespectful to Canelo Alvarez. Listen, I listened to an old show, Luther. Your number 2 pound for pound was Charlo. Number 1 was Spin. So I guess you got to shake up your pound for pound.
Yeah, that's a list from a whole year ago, Jim. Stop it. A whole year.
Listen. You guys have been a more recent show, Luther. You said you would be proud of Canelo if he fought Charlo. Now he fought him and beat him half to death, and Claudio's over there disrespecting him.
I said the big Charlo.
This country don't like people with red hair.
Oh my.
Luther.
Dark hair, y'all would love him. If he was blonde, y'all would love him. This guy is one of the top 5 greatest of all time. He got over 70 fights. He's productive. He's the same age as Charlo and got 3 times as many fights. This guy is active. You guys don't like him. Maybe after he retires, you guys will love him one day.
Luther, to stick up for you, yes, you had Canelo. I mean, those 2 guys.
Right.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that Canelo has to fight, though. How about if you had a 120-pounder number 1? Does that mean Canelo has to fight him? That he fought.
Claudio's piling on me. The first one was his wife and his kids piling on. Now Claudio's family's piling on. Come on, man. Canelo's only 140 pounds.
He's 168 pounds. He was the bigger fighter. I'm tired of listen.
When he start off at?
Yeah. Before he started getting busted with clenbuterol and all that other stuff, before he started testing dirty, yeah, he was about 140 pounds. But he tested dirty, Jim. You don't talk about that, Jim.
If Canelo was black, y'all would love him.
Listen, anybody who moves like that, I used to get on Bud Crawford the way he was moving because he wasn't fighting the best fighters.
Right.
Listen, this fight, it looked like a fixed fight. First of all, if you look at it, Mel Charlo hardly threw his right hand. He hardly threw his right hand the whole fight. He was on the back foot the entire time. Even a knockout was questionable. He got hit with a right and then a left. He said, oh, wait, this is where I got to go down, and took a knee. I didn't like it at all. It was horrible for the sport of boxing. It was supposed to be undisputed versus undisputed. But Charlo was in there like a sparring match. He just wanted the bag. And now,
Luther, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Luth?
Yeah, Claudia.
All right. Yes, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Who overrated who more? The Zone overrating Canelo more by giving him that contract, or Pittsburgh overrating Kenny Pickett?
Oh, here you go. See, Claudio? Listen, we'll see. Listen, that contract almost crashed the Zone. We'll see what Kenny Pickett does with the Steelers. He's only in his 2nd year. I don't like the question, Claudio. And his answer is Canelo. Hey, listen, I like what Bruce Gass said. He said nobody's buying Maul for Canelo's next fight. I definitely agree. And let's get back to a couple other quotes that we had in here, man. Keep the quotes coming. Definitely appreciate it. We have Ralph. The free agents have been a disappointment, not all, but some. Okay.
And happy birthday to Ralph.
Happy birthday, Ralph. Happy birthday, Sean, as well. Matt Cannon was hired by Art Rooney II. Tomlin just can't go in and fire him. This is what we get when owners try to dabble in the football operations. The reason why Chuck Noll was so successful in his early years is because Art Rooney didn't interfere. Listen, if you listen to Tomlin after the first press conference after the game, it looked like he was going to fire Matt Canada and not even let him on the plane. But it looked like, he had a talking to the Rooneys, and nothing's going to happen to at least after the bye week. And it was a whole different press conference. He started talking about we have to be more physical. No, that was play calling. 4th and 1, yeah, you should have been more physical there. You called the pass play, and Kenny Pickett almost got his leg broke. That was horrible. We do have a caller. Okay, we do have a caller on the line. Let's bring the caller up. Viola, thank you for calling the show.
Hi, good evening. You got me so enthusiastic. I'm loving this show. And I would like to know, I like the pictures you have while you were, I guess, at the Allegiant Theater or Allegiant
Stadium, yes.
Yeah, that was great. I was wondering, I love that T-shirt you have on. How can I get one? Because I really love the show, the banter back and forth between you guys. How can I get a T-shirt?
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it. The website is scsportsworld.com. Please go check it out, and you can find out more about us, find out how to support us with the documentary we're doing, Saving Lives Through These Lines. And also, you can get some gear as well. Please check out the website, scsportsworld.com. It's through Bonfire. It has everything on there that you would need. I appreciate the call, though.
Thank you.
scsportsworld.com. Thank you.
And I have it flash on the screen as well. Thank you for the reminder, Viola. I appreciate that.
Oh, great. Yes, I love your show, and I love you guys bantering back and forth. All right.
Thank
Please
you so
keep
much.
going and go back to the show.
All right. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Yes. All right. I love it.
I thought the website was Big Dog.
That's YouTube channel. Get it right.
You don't even know, Jim. You don't even know the website, the website or the.
Hey, Luth. Jim's YouTube channel is Kryptonite. We'll leave it at that.
Right. We know what the kryptonite is. Jim, you're a mess, man. Hey, let's go back in some of the comments. Ralph Williams, expensive defense, cannot stop the run or defend the pass. Oh, Ralph, you're welcome. Happy birthday. And Terry French back here. At this point, Canada is good for one thing, a top 10 pick. Get Wisenhunt back. Wow.
You know what, though? I'm going to ask the same question. Number one, Tomlin's the head coach. He should tell Canada, open it up. But having said that, he sees Pickett every single day. Maybe Pickett doesn't have it to open it up. I'm not sticking up for Canada, but maybe Canada is calling the plays that only Pickett can be successful. For example, if they had a guy back there with an arm, or a guy back there with some accuracy, an Aikman-like accuracy, Elway Marino arm, Dan Fouts didn't have a cannon, but he could throw. Okay, maybe if he had a quarterback of that ilk, then he would open it up. Maybe they see in practice. Maybe they don't have the line. There's got to be a reason. Canada can't be that dumb. It isn't like a new coordinator is going to come in here and say, bombs away. Okay, and if Tomlin's the head coach and calls all the shots, which he does, he has the keys to the castle. He should tell Canada, hey, this isn't working. Let's open it up. So which is it?
Okay. Listen, we saw this Fire Matt Canada being screamed all throughout, the games. I don't know. I think it's time for him to go. I didn't want him to come back. There's no flow to the offense. You have old players. Eric Ebram, a tight end that played for Matt Canada for over a year, said it was the worst offense he's ever played in. It's ABC. It's very basic. And he said he's the problem. And a lot of guys have said that. Think about what he's done. Ben had his worst years with Matt Canada. Kenny Pickett has started off bad with Matt Canada. I mean, it's time for him to go. I don't know what he has on on Tomlin or the Rooneys, but somehow he's able to keep his job, and they've never finished higher than 20 his whole career since he's been with the Steelers. Absolutely disgusting. Terry French, 4th and 1, and Canada doesn't use Harris to run, and Pickett gets hurt. That's a fireable offense right there.
That was bad.
I would have fired him right there. That was horrible. Soon as I saw him in shotgun on 4th and 1, I'm like, what is he doing? Absolute joke. I hated it. I agree with Terry on that. Hey, again,
I don't like play calling, and I'm not crazy about Canada. I'm not crazy about Tomlin. I'm not crazy about any of them. But since you have what you have,
you hate them all, Claudio.
What's that?
You hate them all. You hate Kenny. You hate Tomlin.
I just don't. Again, it looks like I'm in the right lane about Pickett. I never understood. If he played for Utah and had short hair and his name was Ken Pickett, nobody would like him. They'd want him out of there. But having said that, again, they open it up. Forget about it. Whatever's working, right? Whatever you're doing right now, this isn't working. So let's try something new. Now, Harris, okay, Najee Harris, I didn't give up on him, and I still think he's a hell of a back.
Warren looks more explosive. Warren looks more explosive than him. They have the same holes. He looks a lot more explosive.
Use him out of the backfield then, catching some passes. He still has a lot of talent.
I agree. I agree they're not using him correctly. Ralph is back in there. Canada recruited Mike Tomlin's son Dino to Maryland. Well, neither one of them are there anymore. It's time to move on, whether he recruited them or not. He didn't have it in college. He doesn't have it in the pros. He got fired everywhere except Pitt. I guess Pittsburgh's the only state that won't fire him because LSU and everybody else he was sure fired him. Jim, you still with us, Jim? Jim. All right, I don't know what happened to Jim. But again, number to call, 412-530-5063. Let's get back to some of these comments and a couple other things. I don't know what happened to Jim. It looks like we did lose him. Claudio.
Yes.
Another thing, I already know what you're going to say. Is Kenny Pickett the answer? Jim, you back with us?
No. They put too much into him. The media bought into him, and it looks like the Steelers bought into him, and the fans bought into him. I always say you cannot, as a pro scout, whenever I do a pro camp, sometimes you talk to a kid, you hear his story, and man, but then he doesn't perform on the field. I've always used this example years ago on Shark Tank. They had this guy from, I believe, Minnesota. He had a product, and he told his story, and he was crying, and he said he wants to help the people in his town, in his community, and this is going to get them jobs. And everybody on the panel, Cuban, all them guys were crying. And then the margins weren't good. They said, no. They took the emotion out. We're smart. Kenny Pickett, okay, you loved him at Pitt. That's terrific. He's not a number one draft pick. He's not the answer. He's not the guy who's going to take you all the way. He's not the guy that's going to come from behind in a game. He's not the guy that's going to throw 30, 40, 50 times and put up big numbers. He'll make an occasional splash play. Doesn't have a big arm. He's not accurate. Okay, he runs around a little bit. So what? He ran around again. He was a 24-year-old man running against 18, 19-year-old kids in college, okay? In the pros, it's not working. They should have separated the weeds, as I always say, and see the truth, see who he really is. It's nothing personal. I just think I never thought he was a great quarterback. He's a Saturday afternoon quarterback, a backup on Sundays, and I think people are starting to find out. I don't care if you have Martz. Remember Mike Martz for the St. Louis Rams? Genius, great offensive coordinator. I don't care who you have back there. He's not going to deliver the goods.
Okay. Ralph is back at her. Brock Purdy, Sam Howell, Desmond Ridder doing better than Pickett. Come on, Ralph. Desmond Ridder, he's worse than Pickett. He's not doing better than Pickett. Now, Brock Purdy, yeah. Sam Howell, yes. But Desmond Ridder, stop it, Ralph. You're not going to bring that one here. Desmond is not doing better than Kenny Pickett. Neither one of them are doing well, but he's the worst quarterback in the league so far. Desmond Ridder, I've seen all of them, and he's the worst. But Kenny is a close, 31st. First-round quarterbacks are only 50% successful. Yeah, a lot of busts. Smokin' Jim, you back with us?
Yes, sir.
All right, what are your thoughts? The question was, is Kenny Pickett the answer? I already know what you're going to say.
Yes, he's the answer to 9-8. But if you want to go to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl, you can't do it with Kenny Pickett.
All right, you think you can get okay?
Again, the Steelers only had 3 great quarterbacks, and 2 of them won Super Bowls.
Okay. All right.
Bobby Lane being the third.
You're right. Okay. Hey, well, let's go to the phone lines. We do have a caller. Pull him up. Caller, say your name, where you're calling from.
This is LD from Mace Liberty.
LD.
I hear you guys talking about Pickett, but Purdy, we saw him when they played the Steelers. Now, the difference between the two quarterbacks is Purdy has all day to throw the ball.
True.
He has a good offensive line. He has time to throw the ball. Pickett doesn't have time, but give him a little time. I think he has the ability to get the job done. But this is his second year.
Does he look scared to you,
completely.
Does he look scared back there? He looked more scared than C.J. Stroud or Rook.
He looked like he was afraid.
All year he's looked like
he looked like he was really afraid.
True.
And I guess I'd be afraid too, playing behind that offensive line. Do the running backs have any holes to run through as a whole?
Not most of the time. They don't. I agree. Most of the time they don't.
Right. So all the pressure's on him. And something that hurt him was when Johnson got hurt. I think that was his security blanket right there. If he needed a first down, who did he usually go to? Johnson.
No, not a touchdown because Deontay only had one last year. LD. Now,
No, but it would keep the drive going sometimes.
he was he was a safety valve for him. Yes, for sure.
Safety valve. And something else. During the preseason, I thought the Steelers had a lot of team speed. Now they look slow as a team. Do you guys get that same feeling?
Yeah, we've seen a lot of.
Do you think it's a lack of speed, or do you think it's just attitude?
Well, I think getting paid the money they're playing, they should have a good attitude.
That's right. Well, you're right. You know what? That's a great observation, LD. And you know what? What Marvin Hagler say? It's hard to wake up in silk pajamas and go run 5 miles at 5 a.m. These guys got that money. Maybe, Pickens is upset. This guy is upset. Everybody's mad. And I'm with you. You're making that kind of money. Be a professional. But, I thought about you, LD, and, you've said that Pickett reminds you somewhat of Montana. Now, Montana was consistently Joe Montana. Pickett, once in a blue moon, may show a glimpse of it. But there was some receivers like who did he miss in the end zone?
It was Connor Hayward, yeah.
Hayward. And then there was some passes that he was way off on. So again, for me, he had one good year in college. The other ones were mediocre. And now it's blaming Canada and second year. What about next year, the year after? I just don't see them sinking all kind of money into him. Like Clint Hurdle used to say, you are who your baseball card says you are, and this is what he is so far.
Yeah. Hey, Jim, you want to weigh in on this? Go ahead, Jim.
Hey, LB, that's the same thing the first 3 games they were saying. No offensive line with Gateway. Now the last 3 games, they're averaging 63 points a game with their quarterback. Hey.
Who are they playing, Jim? They're not playing top teams.
I got to agree with LB. When the cut downs was going, I think the hardest thing for the Steelers was stopping at 53. There's not 40 guys on their roster that should be in the NFL. So I agree with LD. There.
Hey, LD, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
LD. Okay.
Yeah.
Troy Aikman was 0-11. Troy Aikman was 0-11 as a starter, but you saw some glimpses of stardom. Terry Bradshaw was taken out every 5 minutes. There was Joe Gilliam and Hanratty, all these, but you saw a cannon. You saw a guy who could run. You saw a guy who could move. Are we seeing anything consistently? Are we seeing anything from Pickett? Just saying, hold us a little bit longer. Let's just wait a little bit longer. I mean, I don't. Do you still see something in Pickett that you think he can be a big dog? Luther says top 15 quarterback. I say the only way he's going to be a top 15 quarterback is if those 14 other quarterbacks retire.
Well, I think the last game was his worst game that I've seen him play this year or last year. But the guy needs a little bit of time. And if I'm him, my offensive coordinator calls a 4th and 1 with me running shotgun like that, and I get hit like that, I wouldn't want to play for the guy.
It's time to audible out of that. I mean,
4th and 1. They had a chance to maybe even get back in the game if they get that first down.
I agree.
LD, how about this, LD?
That's a terrible call.
What did you say, LD?
That was a terrible call. I wouldn't have any confidence in my OC calling plays like that.
And that's why certain quarterbacks would have done an audible. We're not doing a shotgun. Center, I'm behind you. I'm just going to get this first down. Mason Cole, I'm getting the first down, or I'm handing to Najee Harris. I mean, that was a horrible call. As soon as they did, I said, they're not getting this.
LD, would you get rid of just everybody?
No,
just the OC.
Okay.
Then he can, the new OC can implement his program. And Tomlin's going to let him do it.
we'll see. Eric said Kenny needs a win against Baltimore, get rid of Tomlin in Canada. Yeah, of course, Eric comes in here and says that. He's been saying that for years. LD, I mean,
You guys think
I think it's more. I think it's
you guys
more.
think Hobbs would have done better?
What did you say, Claudio?
You think Hobbs would have done better? You think Hobbs would have done better? Dobbs?
He couldn't have done any worse.
Yeah.
But this offensive line, who knows? There's no holes. The quarterback's running for his life most of the time. There's no creativity. That's the main thing I see. You look at all these other offenses and you look at the Steelers, it's not just the talent, it's the play calls. They put their guys in a position to make plays. You know, you automatically know the Bengals are struggling, but you know Jamar Chase is going to have 6 opportunities, and at least 2 of them will be deep passes. Christian McCaffrey is going to be put in position to make plays. Can you say Harris or Warren or Pickens or even Freiermuth are put in position to make wins? They are not.
Hey, Luther.
Go ahead.
Hey, Luther.
Yeah.
Hey, Luther. Hey, let Claudio know this, and I believe this in all my heart. One of the best top 3 quarterbacks in all of football is Brock Purdy. There's no
Stop, Jim.
Listen, let me finish. If he would have been drafted by the Steelers in the 7th round, he'd have got cut. Don't forget the Steelers drafted the quarterback before Purdy in that round and never gave him an opportunity. He might have been the next Brock Purdy. He might have been your starting quarterback right now. He never got a chance to show what he could do. If Brock Purdy would have came to the Pittsburgh Steelers, he'd be working for the post office right now.
Well, that quarterback we drafted is not in the NFL right now either, Jim. So.
No, Brock Purdy wouldn't be either if the Steelers drafted him.
Oh, come on, Jim.
They wouldn't have gave him a chance.
Jim,
He never got a chance.
Jim, we have 6th and 7th rounders.
What's that, Luke? Jim?
If he showed he could play, he would have been on the team. Brock Purdy was that type of talent. San Francisco traded a guy they gave up 2 number 1s for in Trey Lance to keep him. He had that type of talent.
We're talking about the rookie year. We're talking about a guy but never had gotten a chance with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Just like the 7th round. The Steelers picked the quarterback in the 7th round before Brock Purdy got picked.
Well, what about Antonio Brown? Antonio Brown got a chance, and he was a 6th round pick, Jim. So your theory's kind of blown out of the water. If you can play, you're going to be able to play.
Yeah, Duck got a chance too. He could have been your
Duck is out the league. Duck is out of the league. The guy you said was so good, Jim. Come on, Jim. I'll give you credit, but you're going way overboard. Hey, LD, are you still on LD? Any other thoughts? Because we did just jump in.
An occasional pass to the running back might help too.
Good, that's right.
And a screen, but not a screen to the tight end where the guy he's blocking is just going to tackle him. That was the worst screen I think I've ever seen in my life. You can't run a screen.
But Harris can go deep. Harris can catch the ball very well. Send him downfield sometimes.
Again, no creativity from Matt Canada. There's no reason at least 3 or 4 times a game you shouldn't have Najee Harris matched up on a big, slow running back coming out of the backfield. You know, a lot of this is on him and also on Tomlin for not putting that in. I'm really questionable. I'm questioning the coaching staff a lot right now, more than I have done in the last couple years. I mean, it looks horrible on both sides of the field. So I don't know. Let's see. Dobbs is looking good according to Terry, and Eric also agree 100%. Well, you always agree with Smokin, Jim, Eric. I'm gonna stop putting that up there, Eric. Hey, but LD, as always, man, you always have one of the best calls. We do have our guests. We want to get on and talk about NIL a little bit, but make sure you get.
Thanks a lot.
Hey, real quick, LD, do they win against the Ravens this weekend? Yes or no?
I think they'll win in a real close game.
Ooh, okay.
Real close game.
Two bad quarterbacks going head to head.
Too bad. What did you say, Jim?
Bad quarterbacks going head to head.
Well, Lamar Jackson has his team out to 3-1. I don't know how that's a bad quarterback. He just had 4 touchdowns last week, and they're leading the AFC North, Jim. So stats say you're wrong on Lamar Jackson. What makes him bad, Smokin, Jim?
Well, I tell you what, he never hit a bullseye, kill a bow and arrow. That's for sure.
Oh, God.
I wouldn't want to go over the middle with his way. He's as erratic as he throws, bro.
Well, Mark Andrews said he sent them to the Pro Bowl a lot of times.
How's the wide receivers doing?
They're injured. All the wide receivers are injured. Odell Beckham, Zay Flowers are injured. They're always injured, Jim.
Yeah, with that guy throwing the football, you gonna be injured.
Whatever. All right, Jim. Hey, LD, we want to thank you for the call, man, as always. And make
Thanks,
sure you
LD.
check out the website. We do have our special guest coming on. Claudia, why don't you introduce our special guest for us?
All right, we have Wade Marsico. He is one of the partners in Marsico Sports Groups and Pennsylvania Sports Management Agency, Pennsylvania Sports Agency. So, Wade, welcome to the show. Can you hear us?
You got to unmute your mic. Unmute your mic, Wade.
Okay, can
I'm
you hear
sorry,
us?
I had it on mute. I'm sorry.
Yeah, all right.
Welcome to the show, Wade. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure being with you this evening. I appreciate you guys having me on as a special guest here today.
All right. Well, you know what? The new thing in high school and college ball, something that people have been talking about for years, and it's finally come to fruition. That's NIL, name, image, likeness.
Yeah.
You guys, Pennsylvania Sports Agency, Marsico Sports Group, are heavily involved in it. Talk to us a little bit about it and what your game plan is to make it a success for the company and also, obviously, for the kids.
Yeah, well, let me give you a brief overview of what we've been involved in previously before we started the Pennsylvania Sports Agency. Marsico Sports Group, the parent company of the PA Sports Agency. In 2008, we started our first high school football combine. 2010, we started the well-known Mr. PA Football Awards program, which is statewide and well-known. In 2010, we've had a lot of special winners of that award over the years. And then in 2013, we started a spinoff of the Mr. PA Football Awards program, which was the Mr. and Miss PA basketball program in 2013. Then in 2018, we got involved a little bit more with 7-on-7 football, which has become more and more popular. We started our first 7-on-7 football travel team in 2018. So that gives you a little overview of what I've been involved with. And then with the new Pennsylvania law that was passed in January, we started a PA Sports Agency in this past spring, and we have a website that you guys can go and check out. It's www.pasportsagency.com. And for 16 years, we've been working together with high school athletes and helping them get athletic and academic scholarships. So now with this new law, we're excited to start helping student athletes and intercollegiate athletes optimize compensation opportunities across Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So, and for those of you that aren't real familiar with what the NIL law is and what's been adopted in Pennsylvania, again, in January, high school and intercollegiate athletes can be compensated for the use of their name, image, and likeness, NIL, much like professional athletes, in advertising, television commercials, and marketing. And our firm has 3 agents, including myself, Ron Marsico, and Kelly Lewis, who is our general counsel. And like I said, for the past 16 years, all 3 of us have been working together supporting high school athletes. So that's to give you a little brief overview of us and how we've got involved in this, and as far as NIL, and as far as our main focus for the NIL with the student athletes is protecting the student athlete eligibility first and foremost, and also protecting their present and future best interest. Make sure that the contract looks tight. That's why we have Kelly on staff. We're the only agency with a lawyer on staff, and again, we're focused on eligibility, negotiating contracts, and again, we're the only sports agency based in Pennsylvania with 3 registered agents. And so we think that's very important. And we definitely want to keep educating student athletes and their families, coaches, and business on Pennsylvania NIL law. And, we're still learning ourselves. I mean, it's a fluid situation. The landscape's changing, so we're still learning ourselves. So
Right. Hey, real quick, we do have a caller coming in. Caller, say your name, where you're calling from.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Sean.
Hey, Sean, what's happening? Happy birthday.
Happy birthday again. Happy birthday. I saw that earlier.
Thanks for the birthday wishes, guys. I'm about to head to Ohio State's campus for the Nas Wu-Tang Clan De La Soul concert.
Oh, man. Okay. There you go. Thanks for taking the time to give us a call. What's on your mind, Sean?
Hey, I see that couple things. I didn't watch the fight.
It wasn't worth watching.
The top dog. I guess Canelo's still the top dog, and I guess the Charlo brothers, they say they lines only. Those are little cubs. They're cubs now. They're cubs.
They're cubs.
1, 2. I'm tired of people having Matt Canada's back. Since 2021, the Steelers is the only team in the NFL that not has had one game with at least 400 yards in a game.
Unacceptable.
The way the NFL is set up right now, it's pretty much set up to on the side of the offense. And it's time for Canada to go.
I agree.
If the Rooney's ain't gonna fire him now, they gotta let him go by at the end of the year. He gotta go. Thirdly, I see y'all have an individual online about NIL. What I would tell, because I have people that you know who I know, Luther, and I have people that ain't as big as that player that you know who I know. I have people that have kids that are in high school, college, and pro. When it comes to NIL, read the fine print on anything that's given to the athlete before they sign it, because I don't know if you've seen, I guess some kids, they sign NILs in college, and the way it was set up, I guess these companies were to get compensated for whatever the kid was getting after college.
Right.
So,
I saw that.
So when it comes to NIL, I would tell people, please read up on it. And when I say read up on it, know what you're signing. And also, take it a step further, know if it's best, what's the best way to go by NIL. Should the kid have the NIL based on their name, or should they incorporate themselves and put the name underneath, put the NIL deals they get underneath the corporation? I don't know things about that. These are just little tidbits I was given by people that have athletes that are in college, either high school, college, or the pro level. I see y'all got a caller on the line. I don't want to hold everything up. Thanks for all the birthday wishes. One final thing. I got a question for y'all. Who's under more pressure on the South Side, Tomlin or Narduzzi?
Ooh. Hey, Jim, you've been quiet. I'll let you go first.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
Oh, wake up, Jim. The question was, who's under more pressure, Narduzzi or Coach Tomlin on the South Side?
I would say Coach Tomlin, because Coach Narduzzi has a long-term contract, I'm pretty sure. So I would say it's kind of close, but that's a very good question.
Yeah. How about you? Who do you say, Sean? Are you still on?
I'm going to say Tomlin, and the reason why I'm going to say Tomlin, Narduzzi could leave Pittsburgh. And if I'm Michigan State, I wouldn't take Narduzzi, but I could see why they may take him, because D'Antoni, he's back in the fold, and he may talk him into hiring him.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't know, but I think Tomlin has to be very careful, because after that performance on Sunday,
yeah,
I mean, I'm trying to back him. Like you know, I'm up here in Columbus,
right?
I wanted to kind of say jokingly, C.J. Stroud was going to light the Steelers up. Oh, one final thing too, and this is what made me mad about the game. I just listened to it on the radio. If your first round draft pick and second round draft pick are in the game, and they're both two-time national champions, Roderick Jones and Mount Washington, the offensive tackle and tight end, or fourth and run the ball behind them and see what you got with them.
I agree. Hey, Sean, man, appreciate the call. Enjoy that concert, man.
Okay, thank you. I'll talk to you later this week, Luther.
Happy birthday, Sean.
Appreciate that. Listen, I
Thank
agree.
you, Claudio and Luther and Joe, Smokin Jim.
All right. Hey, I agree with everyone. I think Tomlin's under the most pressure. He's been there almost 20 years. Narduzzi has another job, and like you said, Narduzzi has a contract, and this is Tomlin's last year under contract with the Steelers. I say Tomlin's under more pressure.
Well, I'll say Tomlin's under more pressure only because the Steelers matter more.
Right.
That's true. Matter more. I mean, if Narduzzi goes 7-5 into a bowl game, he's back. I mean, the Steelers are expected to do more. But if I can ask Wade a question, Luth, what are some of the obstacles that you have to overcome right now, Wade? You had mentioned that this is a new thing for everybody. And Sean brought up some good points. There's going to be a lot of tweaking, a lot of everything. But like you said, you guys are the only ones thus far that have an attorney on board. So what makes maybe not so much obstacles, what makes you guys different than other things besides having an attorney?
Well, I think our relationships with colleges and high school coaches throughout the state that I've developed in over the years with running the Mr. PA Football Awards. We've run the 7-on-7 team, football camps and combines and showcases since 2008, and also the Mr. and Miss PA Basketball Awards program. So I've developed a lot of relationships with high school and college coaches over the years. So we have a strong network. And, as far as you said, like having Kelly on there, reading the fine print, making sure we most definitely protect the student athlete. I think that's very important, having a lawyer on staff. And Kelly's a former member of the House of Representatives. I think he was in there for 8 years. He has his own law firm, and they also specialize. He has a company that specializes in social media marketing and strategies, which, we're going to try to coach these student athletes on NIL, social media strategies, and get them well versed so they can leverage that once they get to college and then possibly get to the pros. So I think that's very important. And then Ron also was a member of the House of Representatives for 30 years. He was the judiciary chair, I think, for maybe 12 or 14 years, and he retired in 2018. So they have a lot of relationships with known laws and legalities across Pennsylvania, and also relationships with businesses and employers from across the state, which I think makes us very unique.
Okay. One question I wanted to know now, Sean did bring up maybe a student could do it under their name or under a business or another name. Are you familiar with that policy?
Well, our contracts are non-exclusive.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So you have exclusive contracts, which means that you would just be dealing with that agency and that, whatever deal they would negotiate with whatever company and whatnot, but we're non-exclusive, meaning you can work with others. So you're not locked in with us. You can do business with others. But the big thing is, in my mind, is, say that a kid does something on their own with a company, and it's just kind of a verbal agreement or a handshake agreement, that's got to be in writing and done the correct way, because the business could be expecting something from the student athlete and they're not fulfilling their obligations. And maybe the student athletes, hey, I thought I was getting paid X amount of dollars to fulfill this scope of work that you expected me to do, and they're not getting paid. So I think that's kind of where we can come in and help negotiate that, make sure it's done correctly and properly as far as a non-exclusive. And then as far as us, if you would sign with the Pennsylvania Sports Agency, there's no upfront fees or anything. Our contracts are contingency based, meaning that it's contingent upon us acquiring an NIL deal for our client.
I think the one good thing, too, that you guys are doing is you're talking about the present for the athlete, but also not just the future, but the future, not just his college days, but down the road, maybe when the game no longer wants him or her, or they don't want the game. I think that is a little bit different too. Am I mistaken in saying that?
Claudio, you're correct. We have talked with Morgan Stanley as far as trying to set up, possibly use them as a resource and possibly see if some of these young student athletes want to invest for their future as far as wealth management and getting to financial management so they can plan ahead for their future. So that's another aspect that we've been looking into, and we're able to use them as a resource, which I think is important for the young student athlete to know, and of course their families. And I just want to touch on one other thing too. We definitely want to educate the athletes on NIL agreements, sports law, social media markets, community engagement, kindness, and most importantly, being a positive role model in the community. That's very important to us.
Okay. There's a question in the comments from Frank Jackson. He says, limit on the money a kid can make with NIL. Is there a limit?
No, there's not a limit that I'm aware of.
Okay.
There's no limits that I'm aware of. I mean, like our one contract that we have in there has like a threshold of that we have from $1 up to $100,000 with the non-exclusive. So there's not any limit that I'm aware of at this time.
Okay. Now, are there a lot now? We have a lot of athletes here. Are there a lot of athletes that have NIL deals in the city or surrounding areas? It doesn't seem like there's a whole lot right now.
No, I don't think. I think we're still in its infancy. We're in the beginning stages, and I haven't heard. I mean, I've heard a couple kids tell me that they had some people approach them or some other. They weren't really sure again what they were supposed to do. Some kid said that I had spoken to about something about doing something with a local gym. But he was there wasn't real specific. And I did hear some rumors of like some other kids putting some on their social media, some links to like selling like apparel or gear of their name with their name on it. But I haven't heard too much. So it's still, very new and in the beginning stages. But I mean, right now we have, I think 3 or 4 gentlemen signed up right now, and it's just not going to be men. I mean, we want to open up things to the women's side of sports too.
Okay.
I think there's going to be some opportunities for women too, and in other sports that aren't as popular as the main 2, football and basketball, and baseball, the main 3.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, do you anticipate? Is it more like the clothing side, or more interested in the NIL deals, or is it or other things? Because like you said, it's so new.
I can't really answer that yet, but I think initially it's going to be the clothing lines, sports apparel, possibly shoe companies, car dealerships, restaurants, pizza shops, maybe gyms, multi-sport facilities, physical fitness centers, cryotherapy, which is new. There's cryotherapy that's out there to rejuvenate your body. Things that I think that are along, that relate to sports related type topics.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, it's so new. I mean, it seems like right now, just like the transfer portal, it's like free agency, the wild, wild west now.
Yeah. It definitely is like the wild, wild west. So
I remember even at Pitt, the receiver, Jordan Addison, his senior year, all of a sudden he goes to USC. He's making more than Juju Smith was making at Kansas City. So it was just. Yeah,
that was crazy that he was Pitt's best receiver. And then the next thing you know, he's out at USC and, played there last year. And, that wasn't supposed to be done. There's not supposed to be tampering in the transfer portal, but, that's going on. There's got to be some more regulation, I think.
Exactly.
In the transfer.
Wait, are there more college athletes joining the NIL than high school? What's getting more?
Yeah. There's more on the high school level. What's going on is a lot of these colleges now, when they're recruiting certain student athletes, they're offering as part of their recruiting pitch and marketing pitch an NIL pitch along with their recruiting pitch for you to try to persuade them to sign with you to go to school there and sign not just an NIL deal but a national letter of intent. Okay. So I know that Pitt football has a new one that's just been making some waves over the summer and early fall. I think it's called the 412 Alliance.
Okay.
And I know Penn State has one. they had two separate collectives, and the two collectives merged, and I forget the new. It was called Lions Legacy, but I forget the new name. And that collective, I mean, basically what I'm hearing is you go to school there, you sign with them, they're going to have an NIL deal in place for you. When you step on campus as a freshman, you get X amount of dollars as a freshman, then you get a different amount as a sophomore, and a junior and your senior, and they're already setting that up through boosters and donors and businesses through the collective for the student athletes that are signing there.
How does an independent company like yours go inside of a house and say we can offer you something better, or we're a better fit and help you out more than something that you just mentioned?
Well, yeah, I don't know if we can offer more, but we might be able to offer something more on a more personal level.
Right.
Also, again, protecting their best present and future interest. And I think that's where we can come in, because you know as well as I do, a kid goes up to Penn State or Pitt, or he's a highly related blue chip recruit. Say he's not producing in 2 years. He's over-recruited, and another guy comes in and takes his spot. You know, that NIL deal is probably off the table.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's some things that, you know, they're not thinking about, that, you know, we're going to be there on a personal level and, you know, build that trust and relationships. I mean, one of our taglines for the agency is get fair representation from an agency you can trust. And that's what we're trying to hammer home with people across the state.
Okay.
And if
We're trying to find profitable NIL opportunities and create and negotiate contracts to protect the student athlete.
And if people want to get in touch with you guys, how do they do it?
Well, you can visit our website. Again, that's www.pasportsagency.com. And again, I think we bring a unparalleled combination of sports experience and legal expertise to the NIL landscape. So, you know,
I think what you said earlier, you're bringing more of a personal touch to it.
Yes.
And you're looking for the present and way down the road future, which is right. So I think that's good.
Yeah. As we run out of time, Wade, I just want to thank you for giving us some information on NIL deals and how you guys are, you know, being a big part of it. We do have will you guys be at the Amani game for Frank Jackson? Yeah, we will be at the Amani game on Friday. In fact, we're going to broadcast and do that game, Amani and Apollo Ridge. And we were at the game against Burrow, and one of the guys showed out. We do want to run a quick clip before our time is up. I'll play a little short piece of it. Hey, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I know that's our time. I want to thank everybody for tuning into a special edition. Thanks, Wade.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All the callers. Appreciate everyone. And we'll catch you out next time. Check out the website, scsportsworld.com. Peace.